Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for Addison's 7-month update. So I am going to tell you everything that went on this last month, and this was a big month. So much happened, like so much. And so we're going to go down the list as always, and I'm going to just tell you everything that is new with her, and I just feel like, yeah, there's a lot. So let's get into it. Real quick, if you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And let me know in the comments, how old are your kids? If you have babies or if you're pregnant, if you're expecting a baby, let me know so we can connect in the comments. Okay, so as far as Addison's weight goes, I'm not exactly sure how much she weighs. At her last doctor's appointment, her 6-month checkup, she was 14 pounds 2 ounces. And when I did her 6-month update, I think I said that she was like 15 pounds. So our scale, I don't know how accurate it is. I don't know. So I didn't even weigh her this time, but she's somewhere in the 14 to 15 pound range, I would guess. She is still in size 3 diapers. She does wear nighttime diapers still as well, just to make sure that she doesn't like soak through her pajamas or anything like that, and that works really well. We do use Pampers diapers. We use those for both Brody, my 2.5-year-old son, and her, and they're my favorite diapers for sure. Let's see. She's still wearing size 3 to 6 month clothes, but they're getting small. So like this onesie is 3 to 6 months. She's had this for a little bit, and it's like, if she'll pick her head up, I'll show you. So it's kind of like pulling here. You can't really tell, I guess, the way she's sitting, but when she lays down and she stretches out, it kind of pulls low. So I know that it is getting a little bit small on her. So we'll definitely, coming up soon for her like spring round of clothes and her warmer weather clothes, she'll be bumping up a size. And then like these pants like are 3 to 6 months, and they're okay. Sometimes they look a little short, like if I'm holding her or whatever, but they still do fit her. The thing with Addison is she's actually like pretty tall. I think she's in the 55th percentile for height, but then she doesn't weigh a lot. So she's tall and skinny. So it seems that like in pajamas and like in pants and the onesies and stuff, the length grows out, even though like around here, it's still like totally fits her. And in fact, she still has some space. So that's that. And then like the pajamas, she's still wearing some of her Christmas pajamas that are 6-month size, but those are fleece and they like don't really shrink that much. So it's funny. So like she was 4 months old at Christmas, so she's just been in the same clothes for a little while. It's kind of crazy, but yeah. Okay, so we switched her from that zip up. If you've been watching my updates, you'd have seen she like sleeps in one of those like zip up like swaddles. It was like, I think it was the Swaddle Me brand. No, that's not what it was called. I can't remember the brand, but it's like the zip up kind, and their arms are in it, and it kind of looks like a starfish. So she was sleeping in that for a long time, and then we switched her out of it this past month, and we switched her into a sleep sack. So it's like a wearable blanket. The brand is like Halo brand or whatever, and I have a fleece one and a cotton one, so like at night she'll wear the fleece. During the day for her naps, I'll put her in the cotton one just so she has a little blanket. But she did perfectly. Like it wasn't even an issue transitioning her out of that. She just switched really easy, and she is still sleeping in the DockATot, but she doesn't roll over or anything like that in it. So we will be switching her out of that pretty soon. But at this point, like I did ask her pediatrician when she had her 6-month appointment, I said, you know, she does roll over, but she doesn't roll over like in the DockATot. Like, is that okay? And he's like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. So I'm not gonna like change that since he thinks it's okay. She is sitting up super well, which is great. She's also been transitioning to 2 naps. So some days she'll still take a 30-minute cat nap at the end of the day, but most days, like yesterday, she took 2 really long naps. They were really good naps, and I'm loving like the solid schedule and all of that. She is eating solids now, so she started eating solids this last month. She's had a lot. She's had bananas, sweet potatoes. Like the bananas, I just mash them up. I've baked her sweet potatoes and kind of pureed them a little bit. She's also had like the Beech Nut brand food that you can buy. I can't talk. I have those on hand so that in case I haven't prepped her food or whatever, then she can try other things and it's just kind of easy. She's had apples, carrots, peaches, pears, kale, an apple, like a mixture, and she eats oatmeal a lot, like with her breakfast. And then there's no signs of her crawling. She's not really trying. She'll do tummy time and stuff and just lay there, and then she'll fuss because she like wants to get to me or get to a toy, but she is not trying to crawl at all. So okay, and then this is the final thing and a really big thing that happened this last month, and I am so emotional about it still. Ugh, it's crazy. So hopefully I don't start crying because I've like cried so much about this over the last month. But basically, Steven and I are going to Hawaii in a month. So at the end of April, we're going to Hawaii. And, you know, I knew that this was coming, and so I kept thinking, you know, maybe I'll just pump the whole time I'm there and continue breastfeeding. And then I just thought, well, I don't know on the plane, like how that will work, like with pumping and being traveling for, you know, by the time between the flight and the travel and being at the airport, it'll be like, you know, 11 hours or so. I just thought, I don't know how I can do that. And I was gonna try to do it because breastfeeding has been going so well and everything like that. But then, you know, I was talking with my husband and he's like, you know, we really don't need to bring milk back. And so it was kind of like, okay, I either pump the whole time I'm there and just dump it out, and then she'll basically use up everything that I have frozen, and then I'll come back to no milk. And then I also have to be pumping the whole time I'm on vacation. There was a million things I was trying to weigh out. And I ended up deciding, okay, I'm gonna wean her from breastfeeding and switch to bottles and all of that kind of stuff. And so we started the process a few weeks ago, and initially I slowed down. I just would still nurse her a couple of times a day, but then give her bottles a couple times a day of breast milk. And she was okay for a couple days, and then she started kind of like wigging out a little bit and just not sleeping well at night and things like that. And we would just cuddle a lot and just make her feel so loved. And it started to just really like weigh on me, and I was getting so emotional, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think I'm making the wrong decision. And so I started power pumping and all of this stuff to start getting my supply back up, and just to sort of, I think we only did that for like a few days to sort of reverse any damage I had done. And then all of a sudden she wouldn't nurse. So I kept trying to get her to nurse for like a week, and she would not nurse. Like she would just scream and scream and push me away, and then she would take a bottle right away. And so I realized like I don't know how to fight what has happened. And so I just decided to go with it, and she was happy having bottles and all of that. But oh my gosh, I have been so emotional. It was so hard, and I am gonna do a separate video on the weaning process because this time around was so different than when I weaned Brody. I did not enjoy breastfeeding with Brody, and he could have cared less. And so this time around was such a different thing because we had such a special bond over it, and she really enjoyed nursing and I enjoyed it. And if I was not going on my trip, I certainly wouldn't have done that. And believe me, every couple days I get really emotional about it, and it just is what it is. I can't go back now. But she is, oh gosh, I'm so emotional. She is doing really well, and I'm doing good, and it's all good. But yeah, part of me is like, man, I should have just tried to figure it out and just pump. But like, I also sit there and I'm like, I could have pumped for a week, and she would have had bottles for a week and come home and her do the same thing and not nurse anymore, and it would have been over and all for nothing. So I guess you really never know how these things will go, but that's what I decided to do, and she is doing so well and she's thriving. I did introduce some formula to her, so I've been mixing her bottles, half formula and half breast milk, because we still have a little bit of breast milk left, and then as she trucks through that, we'll just switch her to fully formula. And yeah, she's doing so good. She is so loved, and just you know, it really comes down to, you know, anyone who's watching this, like, no matter if you breastfeed your baby or you bottle feed them or however you do it, you know, your babies know that you love them so much. And it just, for me, it wasn't about the formula, it wasn't about any of that. It was more just like, just the little bond that she and I have, and she's just my little buddy. And so it was just kind of hard. And then when I see stuff, like yesterday I saw my breast milk storage bags, and I was like, I told Steven, I was like, I almost started crying. He's like, oh my word, you know. So I think it's just part of it, but I'm going to do a video on all of the weaning stuff, because the symptoms and the way that I felt over the last month, just physically, and just so many things have been really rough. And it's the craziest thing, because I never knew that there was like major side effects sometimes to weaning. And like I said, since I didn't feel that way with Brody, I was like, whoa, why do I feel like this? This is crazy. And so anyway, yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing that's happened. But I'm just so thankful for this little girl, and like, hey, we switched to my iPhone because my camera just died and it's her nap time, so I knew I couldn't charge the camera, and I don't have an extra battery, and come back to finish the statement before she has to go down for her nap. So so this is a little rigged, sorry about that. But anyway, I was just saying, she's just my little buddy, and I love her so much, and I cannot believe that she is 7 months old. She has just been, gosh, I'm so emotional. Such a joy to be her mommy and to get to hang out with her every day. Yep. So, okay, I'm not gonna cry. We're good. We're good. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Hopefully this gives you some insight into what's been going on with us for the last month. Say bye.